with Ye scratching his head, confused by Lexia's sudden proposal, all in questions if the princess is in her right mind. However, she reiterates and affirms her proposal, but her escort feels like it is a bit inappropriate for a lady of her stature to express such a thing out loud, although Ui save her. They still don't know anything about him. The stubborn princess proclaims that it was love at first sight and challenges him if he has a problem with that. Owen recoils a bit when he realizes that she's upset. She begins to point out how he's always nagging and telling her what to do. Interrupts their little fight offering to host them at his house, since it's not safe standing in the forest like free bait for the monsters. Everyone is surprised that he has a crib in the forest. When they arrive, the other soldiers stand guard outside and can't believe that there is a residence within the darkest region. He serves them tea, but before they take a sip, Owen formally introduces himself in his rank. Lexia then introduces herself with elegance as a lady of her caliber. She thanks him again for saving them. Ya is shocked to hear that she's a princess and second in line for the throne. He begins to get worried that he could get in trouble for speaking with her in such a casual manner. Owen assures him that it's not an issue, since it's an unofficial visit. He also saved their lives, so they can all look it. He also introduced himself, but they haven't heard of such a name before. The princess pulls Owen to the side, speculating he must be noble from another country. Owen thinks that he could be a wandering maid who is exploring the world and doing research, but she lands on her assumption of him being a royal, and she gets excited at the prospect of the royal wedding. Owen also internally considers that he might be a spy from another country, but he discards the theory as unlikely based on the situation. They confess to you that they came looking for him, which baffles him. Lexia wanted to thank him for the first time he saved her. She didn't get the chance because she lost consciousness. She confesses that since the rescue, her heart has been beating for him, and she has never felt that way before. Owen cringes a little in the background as he also steps back with his back against the bookshelf. She proposes to him again. Dr. Riz is a bit overwhelmed by everything. He is happy that she feels that way about him, but he thinks marriage is a bit too sudden. Lexia is an avid reader of romance novels, so she knows that love can't be so simple. She's willing to overcome all the obstacles, so she proposes that they start as friends. Hearing those words makes him think of all the rejections he has suffered up until that point. He looks at Lexia's eager face and blushes before accepting that arrangement, which is sealed with a soft handshake. Before things escalate, Owen clears his throat and proclaims that with that handshake, it is settled that Lexia's gratitude has been successfully received by her savior. He pleads with you to escort them back to their carriage. As they ride off, the princess promises that she will win his heart the next time they meet. He waves back, a little worried by her words. A short while later, Owen comes with a message from the king, who wants to express his gratitude to you, Ya, in person. The monarch would like to come to the palace for an audience, but he's a little nervous and finds it all so sudden. Owen understands his hesitation, but it is a royal command that cannot be left unfulfilled when put like that. He agrees. The captain takes into consideration the journey and tells him that they would like 5 days of his time. He remembers that he is golden weak in his world, so he pleads for them to wait a little longer. Owen tells him that since they are the ones making the unreasonable demands, they are more than willing to wait until he decides on a date. Meanwhile, in the outskirts of the capital, a masked man smashes his glass in frustration when he receives word of his operation failing his subordinate. Responsible admits that he has no excuses. The assassins he sent separated Lexia from her knights as planned. However, things went wrong when they entered into the darkest region, where they got wiped out by the monsters. The masked man asks why Lexia is still alive. His subordinate, however, hasn't found out that information yet. This promotes the boss to give him a piercing look before dismissing him. The guy hurries out, frightened. His boss informs him that he's only getting one more chance. The subordinate calls him His Highness as he expresses his understanding. As soon as he leaves, the masked man drops his face, covering, and stares at the ceiling, stating that he will never forget what Lexia has done to him and promises that she will not escape his revenge. Meanwhile, normal world, Yuya marks the day he intends to meet the king on his calendar. The current day is his first as an official student of UC Academy. He gets the uniform on and leaves. As he commutes, the ladies from different schools admire him. You know, you are the ultimate city boy when even the salaryman are flushed too. Yuya keeps his head down, still not used to the attention upon his arrival. The chairman gives him a quick welcome since he has an urgent meeting to attend, his teacher reintroduces him to the class as an official student. Ryu and Shingo, who are his friends from his trial day, give him a welcome wave after that lesson. The students have P, where they play soccer. The girls stop their tennis lesson and begin to cheer the boys on. The opposition can't stop Ryu as he dances past them and puts the ball in a net while the girls scream. Yu Yell watches on and is impressed by how good Ryu is key degrees and wonders why the newcomer is not participating. He tells her that his P uniform is not ready, yet the two continue to watch the match. When Ryan passes the ball to Akira, who wants to impress the girls too, he takes a shot that goes astray at jets towards Keed, who braces for impact when suddenly Ya overhead kicks the ball from an impossible position straight into the net. Prime Cristiano Ronaldo would be impressed. Everyone watches. Unstunned, even Ryu is confused by the movement he just witnessed, yet sticks the landing perfectly and makes his way over to Ki to make sure that she's okay. At this point, she has fallen for him. Ichino's rushes over quickly and gives his deepest apologies and even offers to serve her for the rest of his life. But she assures him that she's fine. Rei vouches for Akino's good intentions. Even though he's pretty quirky, he introduces himself to Yaya and thanks him for saving him from a lot of trouble later on. The girl get changed and they discuss Yao's impressive feat, which made them fall for him even more. Corey walks in on their conversation, discussing, they explain the situation to her, and the other girls are sure that someone like him has to have a girlfriend. They even wonder how she would look like at this point. Ya is the father of Riz, who wrote the syllabus to quantum rhythmics. Both Kaori and Ki get jealous at the thought and make the same comment simultaneously. While Ye's class goes back to the indoor lesson, Kariri's class has their P session. The newcomer sits by the window and spots Kaori. Outside, they wave to each other when suddenly the school's main gate is knocked down by some hooligans on motorbikes. The hooligans make their way straight to the girls and surround them, intimidating the poor females with their weapons. Yugo's teacher announces that they should do some self-study and warns them not to leave the classroom. The teachers come out and order the thugs to desist their actions. Instantly, one of the students recognizes them as the Red Ogres. According to sources, they are the most dangerous group of delinquents in the area. But the students are confused by their presence. The group's name is familiar to Ya, who remembers that it's the gang is old Bully. Araki belonged to a looks down and sees him and his younger siblings. Curie stands up to them, asking them what business they have at the school. It is unfortunate that the chairman isn't around to deal with them. They ask Yaya's siblings if she's their target, and they confirm it, revealing that they are doing this out of spite that she allowed their older brother to attend the school while looking down on them. Corey informs them that the police will be on site soon to stop this madness, but the siblings are sure that they can do their damage before then. The gangster notes that it would be problematic if law enforcement shows up, so they want to abduct their target as planned and leave Yaya's younger brother also wants to see his older brother suffer. Just as they prepare to take Kaori, Yaya gets up immediately and heads for the door, but to his shock, his feet are planted in place. Shaking in fear, he doesn't understand what is happening because he has fought more dangerous opponents in the other world. Even though his body has grown stronger, he feels like his heart is still weak. His head starts to spin with all the negative self-talk, but he takes control and slaps himself back into focus. While his classmates watch, he tells them that he's going to help while walking towards the window, which confuses Ryu, who points out that the door is the other way. The class starts to panic when he opens and jumps from the window. As they are on the 4th floor, he lands flawlessly, which catches the attention of everyone. His classmates are surprised that he's okay. Yaya immediately dashes to save the chairman's daughter, but Iraqi stands in his way. He states that his punching bag has gotten cocky since his transfer to the fancy school. For that infraction, he must be punished. Some of his colleagues attack you up, but he easily dodges and disarms them. Before proceeding forward, Iraqi himself blocks his way in attacks, but he dashes past him because they have almost completed the kidnapping. As he gets closer, a big guy steps forward. He takes a sumo stance and charges toward Yaya, but Ya stops him with one hand and tosses him into a park bike like an unwanted lettuce after witnessing their tank get handled like the toy variant. They back off from Kaori as he walks over to make sure she's Unharmed, the head of the gang, was watching the whole time and decides to get involved by attacking with his bike, but manages to evade all of his strikes and does him dirty like one of those skilled Spanish bullfighters. This delay has given the police enough time to make it to the school to catch the attackers in the act. After a short while, the hooligans are rounded up, along with his siblings. Kawari almost collapses from exhaustion, but catches her, and they have a moment. Meanwhile, his younger brother starts to bad mouth the Redovers for not doing their job. This annoys their leader, who holds him by the neck tightly as he blames him for his poor planning. The sister pleads for him to let go, but he kicks her away, and all the police can do is watch an ending happening before their eyes. He pleads for someone to help him. Yuya comes in and calmly asks the leader to let go of his little brother. He forces them apart when the bandit boss doesn't listen. He makes sure his little bro is all right as he gasps for air. The leader dashes toward Ye to attack him, but a piercing look crushes his fighting spirit as he submits to the real Alpha. His siblings are confused that Ye helped them, despite the horrible treatment they have been giving him throughout his life. Although he has not forgiven everything they have done to him, he tells them that he can't abandon his family. His words strike them in the core of their heart as they cry and beg for forgiveness from their older brother. When everything settles down, his friends and classmates rush over to him and begin to praise him for his good work, while Kaori leaves with the girls impressed by Yuya. That brings the episode to an end.